Ah, good old Hassan, Hamas, Bin Laden, Diddy Piker, the 45-year-old man with a head that's way too small for his body. He's not 45, but it's just fun to make fun of him. Hassan and the Modern Audience declare war on VTubers. By Hero Hey. I did not know I was in a war. I guess I am now. I guess we'll just figure out why we're in the war, Chad. Let's see. Let's see. Why are we in the war?
So you guys want to know what's really funny? In this clip, Hassan is really mad at Nux. That's funny. Okay, but what's funnier is apparently if you type Nuxanor, maybe also Nux, maybe Nuxtaku, I don't know, but definitely Nuxanor at the very least, it seems like your comment will be withheld in the chat of Hassan over on Twitch.
Wait, Nux broke Hassan? I wonder, does that work with different other names as well, like Asmongold? Or I don't know. He doesn't talk about Kirsche. Or maybe he has brought her up before. I think he has brought her up before. Or like Ethan, or H3. I wonder if that works, but damn. Nux broke that man. Nux is breaking this man.
As we can see, he seems to be responding to this message he got on Twitch that says, "So I have to try. Nuxanor said if anyone says his name in your chat, they would be banned. So let's try it." Right above that, Automod says held a message for using channel block terms, pending review by moderators. Nuxanor, a blocked term, huh?
You should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed of getting to be openly getting directives from a fucking anime VTuber that every other fucking VTuber hates because he's a gross, lolly enjoying, genocide enjoying loser. Like,
I don't think that the VTuber community. First of all, community. There is no community. Space. It's a medium. It's a medium. It's not a space. First of all, it's not a community. It's a space, and it's a medium. There is no VTuber community. There was never a VTuber community. There will never be a VTuber community. For that, the space is just too retarded. Straight up.
every time you come in here, you're basically saying, "Hey, man, I'm here on behalf of a pet."
Okay, anyway, so Hassan goes on to try and like...
How is Nux a PDF? Aside from the lolly stuff again? I haven't seen him doing anything with minors. I know that Hassan was an underage brothel. But that's it.
basically accuse Nux of being a chomo, but he doesn't put it like that. He goes and uses the full, like, you know, P word and everything. But for the record, I think Nux is pretty funny, and he's always been really nice to me, so I don't know what this guy's talking about. Like, everyone hates him. Like, no, not really. And then he...
The only major time where anybody had real beef with Nux, was Ref and Taiga. Because it spread false information about Taiga. That was it. That was all there was. That's it. Nothing more. I don't know where this idea comes from that there's like that people really hate him. Hassan arguments are empty. Don't believe him if he called someone a pedo. Because that word doesn't mean anything anymore. Internet has ruined the word. Absolutely. It's no longer used in the context where it actually means what it means. People just throw that word around. Same with Nazi. Same with grifter. Same with homophobic, transphobic. These words don't mean anything anymore.
Actually talks about Kirsche.
There's another VTuber being a white supremacist that made headlines. Yeah, I saw. And the only reason why I saw it is because apparently after that loser ass VTuber got banned, immediately they were hitting the Hassan loves terrorism and he's not banned, so why can't I say that it was good that George Floyd got killed or some shit? And it's like, I don't know, maybe because you're a fucking...
Kirsche never said that. Kirsche never said that. Get Munyad. Foxu wins again. I just have to say it. KDS is real. Kirsche derangement syndrome.
Gross little freak.
I love the like 5 seconds of silence and then he's like laughing at what he says. But you know what's really crazy? Hassan says he's kind of familiar with the Kirsha stuff, the articles, the headlines, whatever, like however he put it. And one of the journalists who went after Kirsha got exposed by people on the internet for advocating for the essay of women and also
I'm never getting rid of this again. I'm never getting rid of this again. The women breeding facilities, the macaroni in a pot project. Yeah, breed that cis girl pee.
admitting that they even have chomo tendencies. If you're not familiar with the Kirsha stuff, by the way, Kirsha is a VTuber who has recently been on the receiving end of a massive harassment campaign and cancellation attempt from some corpo journalists and modern audience types. One of these journalists over at Vice made a big hit piece against Kirsha that was so terrible it amounted to nothing. And as mentioned, people actually dug into this journalist and saw the terrible things that they had actually said that were on the internet. And so Kirsha responded, and that article was eventually deleted, seemingly by higher-ups at Vice, but not just that one, because the managing editor of that person also put out an article going after Kirsha, and for some reason Leaflet, which is something I talked about a few days ago. Long story short, that article was also terrible, and also...
How the fuck is Leaflet in there? Just because of the stupid... I have to say though, it's not the thumbnails that is the problem. It's how Leaflet reacts on those thumbnails. Like those happy face, sparkly eyes. That is... Sometimes it's like, bro, your editor must be wild. Your editor smokes that good shit.
ended up getting deleted. But wait, there's more. These people are so desperate that some random WordPress blog journalist actually made an article a few days ago going after Kirsha and trying to like associate her with literal far-right Nazi groups. And they even brought up myself and once again also Leaflet, but also Mama Oko and Rev Says Des. Check out this section where they say, "This is the most common on the outer layer."
Huh? Huh? Kirsha, Leaflet, Mama Oko. Mama Oko, you did it. You're part of the big people now. Jorge, Ref, and others. Hey, I might fall into others. I might fall into others. It's just so retarded, dude. These people are just so dumb.
Layers of the radicalization onion, as Innuendo Studios describes it. Streamers like Kirsha, Leaflet, Mama Oko, Hirohei, Rev Says Des, and others can avoid legal liability by saying any of the harassment or slander done on their behalf aren't what they actually wanted, even though the claim is facetious. Streamers who sit in a deeper layer may have edgier, more openly hateful content, while still hiding behind the defense of calling it quote-unquote jokes. Oh yeah, Hirohei, that guy's so edgy, he calls people weirdo Twitter cops and says like people are acting lame when they are or acting pathetic when they are. Isn't that so edgy, guys? That's so crazy. He must be like a far right white supremacist, whatever. By the way, I'm not a streamer either. Like, what the frick? What is this person even talking about? And you got to see this. Right before that paragraph is this one.
That's because they don't look at what others are actually doing. They just take what they're hearing and just run with it. A Ref is not a streamer either. Like he doesn't constantly stream. He may stream on his Twitch, but he's not a streamer. He is first and foremost a drama content creator. At least you're not in the video. Would have been funny if I were. Eventually I'm gonna end up.
Says, the use of fans to engage in harassment and death threats is an established tactic of alt-right pundits and movement.
Ah, is that so? Is that so? But then why is Antifa targeting Ririgaki? And sending her death threats? Oh, that's an established tactic of the alt-right. The left doesn't do that. No! No! They rather dox people and write great fan fictions about them. Or death fan fictions. Mm-hmm.
Leaders by publicly saying they oppose harassment, but doing nothing to disavow. They can remain legally above any actions the groups they lead commit. This approach is known as stochastic terrorism. And then, as mentioned, it goes into the paragraph that we read right.
Stochastic terrorism? Did they just make up a new word? I've never heard of that. I gotta Google that. That's actually a term. What the fuck? Okay. Weird as fuck.
Before that, where they mention Kirsha, Leaflet, Mama Oko, myself, and Rev Says Des. In other words, like trying to link us to like stochastic terrorism. And it's like, bro, all they really did was make themselves look like a complete nutcase. Also in that article, they're mad at Kirsha for threatening legal action against Vice, saying that's like something that a Nazi would do. I don't even know, man.
Oh, you're spreading lies about me. You're spreading lies about me, so I'm gonna threaten you with legal action. Okay, Nazi? What, are you a Nazi? What the fuck? Yo, I'm losing brain cells. I'm losing brain cells actively. How can somebody write this down and upload it somewhere? And be like, yeah, this is fine. This is totally fine. Is that the new tactic? Oh, you're gonna sue me for defamation? Nazi. You're gonna sue me for, I don't know, threats of violence? You're gonna sue me for doxing you? Nazi. Motherfucker.
Man, I don't even know. I feel bad for that person. Like, I don't think they're doing okay. I think they're like kind of, you know, sickly or whatever the word is. The desperation continues as back over on Twitter, people who have stood up for Kirsha are getting messages from other people that are essentially trying to intimidate them into disavowing Kirsha and other terminally online brain rot stuff like that. For example, we have this tweet that says,
Ain't no way, that's the video where Loom is in. Loom is in the video! Based. Loom is based. Let's go. That is crazy. A homie's in a video! That's cool. That is crazy. Okay.
this was sent to me while I was streaming, and it really hurts me because it's from someone I thought to be my friend. I know who I am, I know my values, and I stand for what I've said, and for who I support. I won't let anyone silence me. Hashtag I stand with Foxu. So we can see the VTuber made that.
So true. I stand with Foxu as well. So true. What the fuck? That's crazy.
Tweet, Akatsuki says, Twitch allows terrorist propaganda being streamed daily on their platform, but bans someone for no reason other than a mass report scam. Amazon needs to get rid of the CEO and the entire moderation team ASAP before they destroy the platform. This referencing, I believe, Kirsha's 24-hour ban. And then, as mentioned, they got this DM that says, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry, I'm just going to say Akatsuki again. Akatsuki, please let me misunderstand this. Kirsha is very dangerous. It's not just a random ban. Please tell me you don't support them.
This was a random ban. This was a ban because she read a gross fanfic, and yes, he supports Kirsha. Based.
For the record, all evidence would point to the ban once again only being a mere 24 hours, and for reading like NSFW on stream. Not because she's very dangerous, but yeah, the full context is I think she was reading like a fan fiction that particular journalist I mentioned a moment ago was going after her had made, and that's why she got like a 24-hour temp ban. Let's go to the next image. Kirsha is everything that means Narcy behavior.
Oh god, that's perfect. Wait, let him say that again. Sounds funny.
I think she was reading like a fan fiction that particular journalist I mentioned a moment ago was going after her had made, and that's why she got like a 24-hour temp ban. Let's go to the next image. Kirsha is everything that means Narcy behavior.
I hate that. I'm gonna use that to mark these people. The Narzi. This is perfect. I'm gonna meme that.
They are bigot as heck and are against every black person out there. They're saying very dirty stuff against George Floyd, for example.
What the fuck? First of all, again, another person that doesn't watch her content, therefore she doesn't know. Because there's a couple of black people that watch Kirsha. Funnily enough, right? Black people watching a white supremacist. However that works, huh? First of all, she made fun of violent individuals that were black in dashcam footage. Criminals. Not just random black people on the street. Criminals in dashcam footage. Or like, not dashcam, but like You know, like just like cam footage, body cam footage. That was what it was. That is what I'm saying. And no matter how you twisted, George Floyd is not a hero. He was a very bad person. Didn't deserve to die, but was a very bad person.
Don't tell me you support Nazis. Okay, since I was going through your Twitter, I decide to ban and block you. Hopefully you see the capital problematic with those people someday. Goodbye. What does ban and block even mean? This person's like having some headcanon power trip. Like, you didn't ban them, you just blocked them. This person would love to apparently have the power to just like ban people from something, whatever the case may be. That's what it sounds like to me, at least. And of course, there's no evidence of this other stuff too. Like, oh, Kirsha hates every black person, is a literal Nazi. Interestingly enough, one of the top responses here reads, I already know this person is because they did the same thing to me. For real?
Ain't no way. Ain't. Follow policing is the most ballless thing I've ever seen. Zero balls.
They try to force you to unfollow a VTuber they didn't like? Yep, I don't like being policed, who I follow. Already lost a friend I consider close because they didn't like Rev. Only time I accept it is if the person is truly disgusting, not because of political preference. Sad I cared about them, but guess it's whatever. Then Akatsuki says,
If you drop friends over politics, yeah, good riddance. I don't consider you a friend anymore. Fuck off. If politics are more important than friendship, then you didn't have a friend to begin with. Just rip Bozo. You didn't lose them, they lost you.
I'm sorry to hear that. Me too. I hate when people try to police me. With that person was even reasonable when they told me to unfollow the other VTuber. I said that I would if what they said was true. But when I went to check, everything they said was a lie. VTuber Rosie Belnu has also been going through all this sort of stuff too. She says, this is why it's hard to ever speak about anything.
Oh, I didn't even see this happen for Rosie. I didn't see that. I saw that Rosie called out Rin for doing this weird virtue signal thingy for gamer subs, and then Yara trying to go after her as well.
My side, quote unquote, is don't bully people. You can choose your side, but you can't corner people into being in your war. I'm assumed to be regurgitating someone else's opinion that's in a war I was never a part of. I've been constantly harassed with DMs on different platforms for over a week now. I want to be done. I'm going to keep posting as usual, but will try to share info when I need to make others aware. It's a lose-lose situation humoring this at all. Stay safe. Rosie including a number of DMs that someone sent her with a bunch of accusations towards Kirsha and no evidence for any of them. Kirsha responds, saying, I am sorry you're having to deal with people like this on my behalf, but I still thank you for having spoken out against the harassment I've been facing. Hopefully they will leave you alone instead of continuing the struggle session. And Rosie says, you didn't force them to harass me at all, so please don't apologize. I hope I didn't imply it was you at fault for what someone else is saying. I did feel it was something after days of people being extremely irrational that I should just show an example of how nutty people have gotten. I appreciate your concern for me, though. These people...
Reasonable. Based. Reasonable. That's why I like Rosie. Because she's cool.
Constantly pick tactics that only make them look terrible to everyone else. Like in their little inner circles on Blue Sky or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, you sure showed them. But to 99% of people, probably more than 99% actually, who are looking at what happens, these people are just making themselves look like extremist freaks. I talked to Rosie briefly about this stuff, and I gotta say, Rosie seems like an extremely nice and kind person. And they're like trying to target her now too. Like I said, you guys are just making yourselves look so...
I'm still proud of ending up with Rosie and Kitsu in a Royalty is Here video. That's still so great. I love that.
bad with all this stuff. As mentioned, Rosie also received a number of DMs with this person trying to like accuse Kirsha of things and guilt trip / intimidate Rosie into disavowing Kirsha. Let's take a look at this one. Otherwise, it seems like you are willfully ignorant to far-right extremism in order to implicitly support it. If you are far-right and chose to work with gamer subs but want to hide it, bold, then your best bet is ignoring this message once you read it. If you are not far-right, you will probably try to hear this out. If you are far-right, you'll reflexively ban and run away. When you've been so willing to be confrontational to anyone and everybody before my message on this.
I'm creating a new political view for these people. And I'll call it far retarded. This person is on the far retarded. Not far left. Not far right. Far retarded.
Same topic. This is in reference to Rosie putting out one of the most mild takes ever in response to VTuber Rin Penrose making a public statement saying that she doesn't want to be an affiliate of GamerSupps anymore because of who they associate with, which at the time that was going on was also the start of the harassment campaign against Kirsha, so it was very implied to be about Kirsha. And like I said, Rosie put out an extremely mild take, just basically saying that, like, it came off kind of like virtue signaling. I'm putting it in my own, like, paraphrasing now. But yeah, then Rosie gets messages like this from people.
It was very virtue signally. Like, you don't like who they're working with, but who? Don't you have the balls to actually say that? This is not an airport.
People that are trying to shame her for saying that, and like, the phrasing here is so freaking manipulative. Oh, if you ignore what I'm saying, clearly you're far right. If you're not far right, you're gonna hear me out. And like, what the frick, man? No one is obligated to respond to anyone in their DMs, especially when they're acting
True, especially if they act like this. Why should I respond to you?
like a freaking terminally online weirdo. Like, come on, bro. She's not far right. She's far away. Staying far away from you. I know. Really clever. Round of applause for Hirohei. Another example of many, and there's plenty that we're not going to be talking about in this video. This is just like an overview of what's been going on. But hopefully you're familiar with the cat, aka cat in chat, aka Catliante thing that we've been talking about here on the channel the last few days.
The only thing Kat did was she made me make the reaction video about the lolly VTubers that she also helped harassing with. And Frog found me like that. That is the only good thing that this woman ever did for anybody.
But if not, if you don't know what that's about, it's fine too. You'll see what I'm getting at in a second. Because Rosie had responded to Alicia here and said, I'm sorry this happened. At this point, I feel like we just got to inform people she is grifting the VTuber drama, referring to Kat, after she used to do content creator advice on TikTok and found this to be more profitable, and that's the end goal. If it's for profit, she'll move on to something else if this doesn't get her traction. The reason I'm showing you this now is because Rosie got a response from this person who's like, oh, she's grifting, but not Kirsha? Cool. This is completely unrelated to Kirsha. This thing had nothing to do.
Because Kirsha always had these views. These people need to learn what these terms mean. Grifting means something. Catering, pretty much in the content creator space, it's catering to an audience and not actually believing in what you say and do. Catliente is the literal definition of a grifter. Because she did originally do content creator advice, which did not succeed, found VTuber drama, and is using that to make money and grow. Because her original content did not work.
With Kirsha. These people still like gonna go freaking stalk Rosie's tweets and bring it up here. Again, how does this make you look good? It doesn't. You look freaking weird. So yeah, that's some of what's been going on lately. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and all the best to everyone out there. Stay safe, guys. A lot of crazies. My gosh. And if you enjoyed my coverage, please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful...
My view on this is very simple. These fuckers are all, without a doubt, mentally heckin' ill. All of them. Get the psych ward, put them away, throw them into the trenches. Horrible people. Horrible people.